Feeling like you've been tortured by women throughout your whole life? Do not skip this video. You guys have been holding on so much to the idea of love potentially happening, but also have simultaneously given up on the idea so much of love happening that now you're just awaiting your own death to feel one with the universe, to feel one with anxiety going away, because that's how futile, that's how far and in between this idea of love has become for you. If you're wondering what I mean tortured by women, if you feel like talking to women is torture, using the dating apps is torture, your experiences in the past with women, maybe a teacher or a mother, has felt like torture, you felt exiled, you felt like you're the one that took all the blame, maybe female friendships have started off well and then took a turn and went awry, and the lack of communication in that has been torture for you, this is exactly what I'm talking about. And also, just to clarify, my channel is not like just pearly things, just curly fries is what I actually like to call her. This is not that channel. I'm not blaming women for the torture. People of different genders have felt tortured by the opposite gender. People have felt tortured maybe by a certain type of boss that they had. You know, it's not really applicable. It's not to say that women are the ones that are, you know, solely responsible for the torture, but it's to say that this feeling of being tortured, of dating being like tortured, is extremely valid just within the feeling and the devastation of that within itself. Not hating on women in any type of way. This is not what this YouTube channel is for. I really want to help heal you boys, but a lot of you guys are looking for 2 + 2 = 4 when this involves exploration of the psyche. But the problem is that many of us view ourselves and our psyche as one. My name is Amanda and I am just one person. I have just one psyche. When I die, it's just me. I'm gone. However, you guys aren't looking at your psyche, at your soul from a multiplicity sort of level. There are many parts of you at work. You are the sum of your parts. You are not just your pain. That's a traumatized part. You're not just your happiness. That's a creative part. You're not just your playfulness. That's, you know, these are different aspects that make up all of you. We are going to talk about the inner critic that a lot of times becomes present when you are dating and when you are talking to women. And this inner critic can feel like torture even though it's trying to protect you. If you have a voice in your head that judges you, that attacks you, that demeans you, especially in relation to bonds you form with other people or in relation to addictive aspects of yourself, this is likely to be an inner critic. Don't drink that beer one more time, you stupid loser, is an example of an inner critic. From Jay Early's book, Self-Therapy, he writes, "There's commonly going to be a part of you that criticizes you, then another part that takes all the blame, the criticized part. Because when you have one part that's constantly criticizing you, another part is listening and it's taking on that blame." And he calls that part the criticized child part or the wounded child part. The first example of an inner critic that you could be dealing with is one that's called the taskmaster. You'll never get that done. You're no good and you won't make it. A lot of times this inner critic comes around when we're trying to complete a task, when we're trying to get started on a creative project. If you feel that procrastination and you feel that heaviness, that weight, that's likely to be an inner critic. It tries to motivate you in this sort of distorted kind of attempt. If I just tell her that she's no good and that if she tries, she will fail, then maybe she'll get the task done. If I just blame her every step of the way, maybe she'll get the task done. Really what ends up happening is the wounded child then sort of kind of takes over and is like, well, I'm just gonna procrastinate because every step of this ladder getting to this goal, I've been criticized by this other part, so I'm just gonna procrastinate. But you have to look behind the motivations of your inner critic. This inner critic, the taskmaster, the motivation is for you to complete a task. So even though it's going to doubt you and your abilities every step of the way, it's deep down hoping that you can complete this task. And then we have the underminer, the most common inner critic as it pertains to dating, especially as it pertains to dating with men. But there's also this other critic that's called like the model. I like to say the model, or you can call this the Giga Chad critic, but let me just start with the underminer here. Underminer commonly says, you won't succeed. Don't even step out, because if you try your hand at anything, you will fail. And a lot of times the motivation of the underminer is to erode your self-confidence enough so that you won't get rejected. I'm not even gonna try because I'm so this, fill in the blank. I'm so this, that. Why would I even try? Let's just bury this self-confidence so then we never have to experience that same rejection with women again. And then there's the inner critic that judges and criticizes your looks. Hey girl, you're not skinny enough. You're not thin enough. Hey dude, you're not strong enough, you're not muscular enough, you're not tall enough, you're too bald. Why would you even go out there? You're meant to be a model, okay? Why would you even try to exist in this human realm as a human? I mean, clearly you're meant to look like some airbrushed AI to get some love in this freaking empty culture. Now, I ask you, getting to know these inner critic parts is that you don't fight your inner critic, but actually you get to know it. Because although inner critics can sabotage us a lot of times and can, kind of have a backwards way of doing things, these parts of you have actually been trying to protect you since the very beginning, as counterintuitive as that seems. And a lot of times when people are getting to know their inner critics, they just want to get rid of it. Let's just get this one out of here. But you have to peel back and look at the intention, the motivation of your inner critic. The motivation of that inner critic, that underminer, is to not get rejected, because how badly did it hurt to be freaking rejected? Before we close off this video, I'm just gonna hit you guys with some healing sounds. Please like, subscribe, link below for coaching. I will be doing more videos on this, but I'm curious to see if you guys can relate to any of these inner critics. I know I personally can. With that being said, I will see you guys in a later YouTube video.